Seattle, 1986. The call came in for a Bruce Nickell, 42, lived with his wife, Stella. The medics on scene called it for emphysema, a quick collapse on the porch after a long day. The medical examiner concurred. Case closed, ruled natural causes. Just another body in a city full of them. We filed it away. We were wrong. A week later, the city went into a panic. A woman named Susan Snow collapsed and died. And this time, the ME found it. Cyanide. It was in a bottle of Excedrin she'd bought from a local store. The paper screamed bloody murder, calling it a copycat of the Tylenol case from Chicago. The feds were called in, bottles were pulled from shelves, and the entire city was looking over its shoulder. That's when Stella Nickell walked back into our lives. She called the police with a tip, a helpful, grieving widow. She said her Bruce had taken Excedrin right before he died. Maybe, she suggested, he wasn't a natural death after all. Maybe he was the first victim. We pulled his blood samples from the morgue. She was right. Bruce Nickell's veins had been swimming in cyanide. His cause of death was officially changed from natural to accidental. And that's when Stella's real plan kicked into gear. With an accidental death certificate, the life insurance policy she'd taken out on Bruce ballooned from $76,000 to $176,000. She even filed a wrongful death suit against the manufacturer. A grieving widow looking for justice. It was a good story. Too good. The feds started digging. Greed is a hungry animal, and it always leaves a trail. First, the bottles. We found 5 contaminated Excedrin bottles in the entire Seattle area. When we asked Stella for the ones in her home, she handed over 2 of them. The odds of one household having 40% of the evidence were long, too long. Then, forensics got a hit. The tampered capsules contained trace amounts of tiny green crystals. A lab analysis identified it as an algicide, the kind used to clean fish tanks. A quick background check showed Stella was a tropical fish enthusiast who used that exact product, likely crushing it in the same mortar and pestle she used for the cyanide. The first thread in a sweater that was about to unravel. But the nail in Stella's coffin came from her own flesh and blood. A year later, her daughter walked into the station, tempted by a $250,000 reward. She spilled everything. How her mother hated Bruce after he got sober, calling him boring. How she'd openly talked of killing him. How she'd failed with other poisons before settling on this plan. The daughter's biggest lead sent us to the public library. We pulled the records. There it was, in black and white. Stella Nickell's name on the checkout cards for books like Human Poisoning and Deadly Harvest. We even lifted her prints from the encyclopedia pages on cyanide. We had her. The dutiful widow was a black widow. The copycat killing wasn't a copycat. It was a cover-up. The murder of a stranger designed only to make her husband's death look like part of a pattern. All for an extra $100,000. She went to trial. The jury saw right through the act. They found her guilty on all counts and put her away for 90 years. She thought she had a brilliant plan, but in the end, she was just another killer who got caught, brought down by a fish tank, a library card, and a daughter who knew the price of betrayal.